All right. So starting off today's class, guys, our agenda is to solve a question, and through a question, we will look into some topics. Okay, so that is the agenda, and let's get started. Firstly, we'll look into the question that we are solving. It's called as Magpie, Magpie. So through the question, in a practical way, we will solve it, and we will also understand the theory around what is being tested. So first, I'll open the requirement here. Explain the purpose of the engagement letter and list any four items that should be part of the audit engagement letter. Okay, so we are going to learn the purpose of the audit engagement letter and any four items that would be included in the engagement letter. This is what we have to solve in this particular part of the question. The purpose of the letter and any four items which would be included in the audit engagement letter. So let's look into this. Okay, so here is the answer, and I summarized it for you here in a simple way. So two parts I've divided this answer into. First is the purpose of the engagement letter. Second, the matters that should be included in the engagement letter. Okay. So these are the matters that should be included. So these are the two things that we will be studying. So you saw the question here, and here I will be explaining you the points also, and it will give you a very good understanding. So first I'll highlight the parts of the question. So first we will write the purpose, and then we will write four items. That is the key things. Okay, and whenever there's an and in the question, always remember that you have to answer for two parts. Always. And is there? There are two parts of your question. So here also I've written two parts of the question, as you can understand. Now, okay, just take me through the question here, Nivan, quickly. How have you understood the question, buddy? The first question, A. Hmm. In it. Perfect. Okay. Geet, is the question clear? Yeah. टिया अभी पॉजिटिव क्लियर है कि क्वेश्चन क्या है टिया? क्या दो चीजें करनी है हमको? Perfect. Purpose of the letter as well. That's it. Okay, so these are the two sub questions of this particular question A. Okay, so we'll look into this and in a very simple way we'll understand about this. So our topic is purpose of the engagement letter. So there are four purposes that you can see here. Firstly, it confirms your acceptance. It's confirmed that the auditor has accepted the audit engagement. It's like a confirmation that okay, done. If a WhatsApp पे double tick आता है, तो we know it's a confirmation that the message is delivered. Like that only confirming that the auditor has accepted the engagement is a manner of confirmation. Second, it avoids any misunderstandings. If you have everything in writing today only, tomorrow, 3 months into the audit, 4 months into the audit, there is no misunderstanding. If someone says we didn't talk about this, you can show them the letter. It ensures both the auditor and the client clearly understand the terms of the audit. Next, it defines the responsibility. It explains that the responsibility of both the auditor and the management. It explains the responsibility of both. And finally, it set the audit terms. It states the conditions, scope, and nature of the audit engagement. Everything. That how much money you have to pay us, how much time we will take, what are the conditions we have, and what are our expectations, what are our responsibilities. Everything will be there. Okay, the responsibilities will be defined of both the auditor also, management also, and will set the audit terms. Okay, so let's go through the first 2 points here, Nivan. How have you understood here the purpose of an engagement letter? Yes, very good. Perfect. That's it. That is the purpose of the engagement letter. First two purposes. Okay, let's go on to the next two here, Geet. How have you understood this? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Easy. Purpose of the engagement letter. Okay. Nothing difficult that we cannot revise here. Nivan, we can easily revise this buddy today. Any difficulty in revising this? Okay. So this has to be revised 3 to 5 times, guys, today. Properly you under revise this. Read it again and again and again. Okay. 3 to 5 times you have to revise this part of the question. Nothing difficult. Hardly it will take 3 minutes. Right? We have read it in class also already once you have revised now. You have read it out to me. You have understood it 3 to 5 times at least. We have to revise it today. Okay. Next, sorry. हाँ ठीक है, मैं ये शेयर कर दूंगा ना आपसे, ये फाइल, एक्सेल फाइल, इससे पढ़ लेना आप। ठीक है, इसलिए आज क्या मेरी इच्छा है ना, 2 क्वेश्चन कराने की, इसलिए थोड़ा सा मैं जल्दी कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। है ना, ये पूरा एक्सेल फाइल आपके साथ मैं शेयर कर दूंगा, इधर से आप देख लेना और जल्दी कर लेना, ठीक है। एक बार वैसे करके देखते हैं हाउ इट गोस। ठीक है, दिस द फर्स्ट पार्ट गाइस, नथिंग डिफिकल्ट, एटलीस्ट 3 to 5 times we have to read it today, right? Make sure properly, thoroughly you revise this, nothing difficult on this. And ever if this question comes from today, you should easily get it in your mind, easily you should get it in this. Now, okay, just all you have to do is make sure you understand everything, because this Excel file you have to read 3 to 5 times today. Just understand everything on this, nothing else you focus on. Just understanding this Excel file really well so that you can read it 3 to 5 times. Just understand, don't do anything, just understand this well. Okay, now you need 4. I have written all of them that was given in the exam kit. All of them are here. Okay, so there's more than 4, but you just need to remember 4 and write only 4. Okay, so this was about the purpose of that letter. Same letter, what should be inside the letter? What are the matters that should be included inside the letter? Okay, first is the objective and scope of the audit. Explain what the audit will cover and its purpose. That why is the audit being happening in the first place? What are you going to check? Right? Am I going to check the payment of Apple, payment system of Apple? Am I checking the HR system of Apple? Am I checking the marketing system of Apple? What exactly am I checking? Right, you're not doing entire Apple audit, means what? Specific audit, what you're going to do in Apple. Also, what are you going to check? I'm going to study audit, but what are you going to study today? Substantive procedures, audit risk, matters to include in engagement letter. What exactly are you going to include? Okay, so first is explain what the audit will cover. Next, what are the auditor's responsibilities? What is the management responsibilities? What is the auditor's responsibilities? What is the management responsibilities? Okay, that should be inside the engagement letter. Next, financial reporting framework, that the financial statements has been prepared, or whatever you're checking, which framework have you used? IFRS have you used? US GAAP have you used? Which accounting framework have you used? Which reporting framework have you used? Right, a clear description of that. Then, then it explains the format of the audit report also, and notes if it may change if required. Right, you're telling that the audit report may be changed also if it situation like that comes, right? It may change if required. Okay, so that is about this. All right, let's go to the first three. Yeah, tier क्या आता है और engagement letter में top 3 things here, what, how have you understood this? क्या क्या आएगा? Very good. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Yes, perfect. Absolutely right. So these are the first 3 things that should be there. All right. Next, we'll go through this here, Nivan. Next two, how have you understood these two, buddy? Okay. Okay. A description of the framework. Okay. Let's just read out the audit report for me here. ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट पार्ट क्या, ब्रेक डाउन करते हैं इसको। फर्स्ट पार्ट क्या है, एंड के पहले का पार्ट क्या है? ओके, व्हाट्स योर बेस्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ व्हाट दिस कुड बी, इफ यू हैड टू टेक अ गेस? Absolutely, that's it. In the engagement letter only, starting only, you're telling what kind of report you will give. Okay, that's it. And second, after the and, read what may change. इट में क्या आ गया? अगर इट बोल रहे हैं मतलब हमने उस चीज के बारे में बात ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं हम लोग। सो इट मीन्स व्हाट कैन चेंज इफ रिक्वायर्ड? द फॉर्मेट कैन चेंज, दैट्स इट. नाउ हैव यू अंडरस्टूड ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट, buddy? Okay, so these are at least already 5 things we have looked into that will be in the audit engagement letter. Okay, we've already looked into 5 things that will be in the audit engagement letter. what the audit will cover and its purpose, auditor's responsibilities, management responsibilities, the framework, and the auditor's report. Okay, next we'll look into the next 5 year. Next, we'll write scope under law. Refers to any legal or regulatory requirements affecting the audit. Is any law coming in between or any law that needs to be followed? Right? Any legal regulatory requirements affecting the audit, not everything, but the ones affecting the audit. Any legal or regulatory requirements affecting the audit. Second, any other communications describes any additional reports or communication the auditor may issue. Along with the audit report, will he issue anything else also? Along with the audit report, will he issue anything else also? Along with the audit report, will he issue anything else? Next, we have written about here about key audit matters, right? States that any key audit matters you will also include in the audit report. Inside the audit report, you will include any key audit matters. You're letting them know now only that inside the audit report, you will also include any key audit matters. Next, you will explain that not all material misstatement can be detected, right? Not all misstatements can be detected, only ones that are material, because see, you're again doing a sample transaction. Okay, so not all misstatements may be detected. Your goal, you will try to detect the material misstatement. Yeah, so that is something that you're going to focus on. That as much as you can, you'll focus on the material misstatements and you'll try to uncover them. Not all misstatements will not be detected. Okay. Next, audit planning. You will outline how the audit will be planned, who will be included in the audit team, right? How the audit will be planned. And like first 2 months we'll do this, next 2 months we'll do this, next 2 months we'll do this. Now, okay. So first is scope under law. You will refer to any legal or regulatory requirements that may affect the audit. You let them know before only, that will be mentioned there. Any other additional report that you might issue, you will tell them that in the engagement letter only. Second, you will tell them that, see, if we find anything that comes under key audit matters, if it's a significant finding, we will put that in our report as well. You're letting them know in advance. Finally, you're letting them know that not all misstatements will not be detected. They will try to find out all material misstatements, but not all misstatements will not be detected. And finally, you tell them how you are planning to go about the audit. First 2 months we'll do this, next 2 months, next 2 months, that, and who and all will be included in the audit team. And who and all will be included in the audit team. And who and all will be included in the audit team. Okay. So these are the things that you will look to understand. All right. So let's go about this here. Geet, first three things, how have you understood here? What will be included in the audit report? Sorry, in the audit engagement letter. Very good. Okay. Yes. Perfect. So these are the next three things that we've picked up. All right. Let's go through these two, Nivan. How have you understood here? Hmm. Okay. Including the audit team as well. So all that you tell in the engagement letter itself. All right. We'll look into the next 5 year. Next, written representation. You state that the management must provide them written confirmation to the auditor. In certain instances where evidence is not clearly available, in those instances, you will require a written representation from the management, or there were areas where significant judgments were taken. So for those areas, you will take a written representation and they are accepting that they will provide it to you. Next, access to information. It confirmed that the management will, yes. Just a key judgment. Why was Nivan made as a class monitor? So there is no proof for this. This is just a feeling that your class teacher had, that Nivan is one of the brighter kids in the class. So teacher told that yes, I confirm that I made Nivan as the class monitor because of certain qualitative characteristics that he possessed, which really felt put him in the position to become a class CR. So that is the reason why we made him a class CR. So for certain areas where significant judgments were taken, their judgment was taken by a human being. So the human being, the max he can do is he can just confirm it in writing. Now there is no clear judgment. There's no evidence for that judgment. Now you have taken a judgment. Oftentimes judgments don't have evidence. It is just taken by a human brain. So for those the decisions like that and where judgments are involved, you take a written in a writing. You take it from there that yes, I made Nivan the CR of the class because I think he had XYZ qualities and it was very fit for anyone who should be a CR in the class. So I made him and I confirm I made him. So that is an example of a written representation where they'll give it to you in writing. Any judgment they made or any area where evidence was not there, in writing the management will give you that yes, we did this and we are giving it to you in writing. So that tomorrow if someone holds the auditors accountable, they can show this, that see, in this area either I did not find any proof, or in this area the judgment was a lot of judgment was there, so I took in writing from them that yes, they made a decision based on these parameters. So for any area where there is no evidence, or for any area where a lot of judgment were involved, a written representation is taken from the management, wherein they just type out a email or like an affidavit. They type everything out. It's like an affidavit. I'm not telling it is an affidavit. I'm telling it's like an affidavit saying that yes, I confirm that I made Nivan the class CR because I show because he had XYZ qualities, which is very much fit for a class CR. And yes, that was the judgment I took. So they will write that, type it out, and send it to the auditors. So tomorrow, if anyone has a question that why was Nivan the CR, so they can show that proof. Yes, see, Nivan's class teacher has sent this. So it's like in a written form, they will be sending a confirmation of a certain judgment they took or a certain activity that took place. Did you get an idea, buddy? Okay, that is written confirmation. Next, access to information. In the engagement letter, you will write that the management will provide you access to all the information that you need. You will discuss on the fees, all the billing arrangements will be written. Then you will request the management to sign and agree to the terms of the engagement also. You wrote it, they should sign it also. And finally, if any internal auditors will be a part of the audit, internal auditors of the client, whoever you are auditing, if they are internal auditors also, you're going to be part of the audit, then you write that also that yes, we will be using the internal auditors services also. That whoever your internal auditors are, we will use them also and take some help from them also in doing the audit. Everything will be written right from the start, so there's no confusion later on. Okay, so let's go through the first three things here, Tia. Let's go through this thing. First three. Yes. Yes. Hmm. And the entire arrangement about the audit fees will be written. Very good. Absolutely clear. Okay. Next, we'll look into these two here. Let's go through this, Geet. Okay. Exactly. Very good. Hmm. Absolutely right. Perfect. Let's look into the last two ones here, guys. Is working papers. The working papers will basically state whether audit working paper, they are basically not about the working papers. In the engagement letter, they will write that the working papers may be shared with other parties or not. That they will write in the engagement letter. That can these working papers, because see, ultimately the working paper belongs to the auditors. Auditors, whatever work they have done, they put everything in a set of working papers so that for future reference or later they might need everything end to end. So in the working papers, we will write states whether the working papers may be shared with the other parties. It states whether audit working papers may be shared with other parties. And find whether they can share it or they cannot share it, that will be agreed to. And finally, auditor's liability. It specifies any agreed limitation on the auditor's legal liability. Right. So if there's any legal liability from the auditor's side, right? Any limitations on the auditor's legal liability, that if there's any liability on the auditors, right, that they are liable for any wrong information, or there is any kind of penalty they might have to pay, or anything with regards to auditor's liability, that if they make by mistake, they make the client information, confidential information public by mistake, then if they do anything that goes wrong, they will be compensating the client, or they will provide some kind of a compensatory uh, benefits to the client if anything goes wrong. So anything is an auditor's liability. So if you're writing that management has to do XYZ, even an auditor's liability comes at the end of the day. Right. So any agreed limitation on the legal liability. So auditors also say that, see, I can only do the audit on a sample basis, and I can only give you a certain amount of surety. Right. If I can't give you 100% guarantee, I'm going to give you reasonable assurance. I cannot give you absolute assurance. So even after me giving the assurance, there can be room for some kind of a slight error, not a major error, but some kind of error may still be there, because see, I cannot do a full audit and 100% testing. That is not possible, right? So if there's any limitation on the audit, yes, there is, and I cannot do 100% testing. I will give you a reasonable assurance. I cannot give you an absolute assurance. I'll give you a reasonable assurance, but I cannot give you an absolute assurance. And after that, also, if some problem happens, there's a limitation to how much I am responsible for it. That I will do my job the best. Like, when a doctor does a critical operation, he will do his best. But at the end of the day, it may or may not work out in the best way for the patient. Right? So again, there's a limit. You can't put the doctor in jail then. Right? There's a limitation to the doctor's responsibility. Right? Similarly, over here, just like the doctor, if somebody did the operation, he tried his best, it did not happen, then you can't put the doctor on jail for murder. Right? There's a limitation to what the doctor can try and do. Right? Sometimes it may not work out also. The same thing over here, auditor's liability. And before that, we have working papers. Working papers basically states whether the audit working papers may be shared with other parties, whether the audit, ultimately the working papers belongs to the auditors, and can it be shared or cannot be shared, that will be written over here. Okay, so that is about this. Let's go through this one, Nivan. Last 2 points here. Any mistake that the auditor did not find, so you can't hold him accountable for that beyond a certain measure. Up to a certain level, if it's a very big error and he should have found it, then it's okay. But certain small or certain specific areas, if he was not able to find something, you can't hold him accountable beyond a certain limit. Right? There's a certain limitation on the auditor's liability also. ओके, क्या आप बोल सकते हो कि तेरी गलती है, तूने ढंग से ऑडिट नहीं किया, बट एक लेवल तक ही बोल सकते हो, मतलब कुछ बहुत बड़ा नहीं मिला तो समझ में आता है. अब छोटी मोटी चीजें अगर कभी कभार नहीं मिली, तो यू कैनॉट उसका आप उसको जेल में नहीं डाल सकते, उस पर कैनॉट पुट हिम इन जेल. ठीक है, डिड यू गेट द क्लैरिटी हियर, निवन? Okay, so these are all the items, guys. We needed 4. We went through all of them. So there's no reason not to revise this, guys, today. Yeah, you go through this. Any confusions you ask me, at least 3 to 5 times you go through this really well. And ever again, if this question comes, guys, it should be super easy and you should definitely be able to answer it. It shouldn't feel difficult at all. Okay, everything we have understood. Most of you have read it also in the class. So that's why I'm making you read it right now, because you're revising once with me. Now in the class only you're doing it now. When you second time read it, that means first time once you have revised it already. So most of you have already, I'm making you guys read it to me. That makes you easy, and as you read it, if you don't understand, you ask me immediately. Yeah, okay. So these two, at least 3 to 5 times, guys, this question or both these questions, you have to read again and again. And in your mind, it will come through and it will feel very clear to you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they can ask more than 4. They can ask 5, 6. But this is not a very difficult topic, so they don't ask for a lot of marks, to be honest. ज्यादा से ज्यादा 6 तक जाएगा मेरे हिसाब से. आई डोंट थिंक, वर्स्ट केस 7. उसके ऊपर पूछ नहीं सकते. इट्स टू इजी, है ना. देयर वे मोर टेक्निकल थिंग दे कैन आस्क इन डबल ए. सो दिस कैन नॉट कम फॉर अ वेरी हाई मार्क, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, है ना, क्योंकि इसमें कुछ भी टेक्निकलिटी नहीं है. इफ यू थिंक अबाउट इट, इट्स जस्ट लाइक अ मेमोराइजिंग थिंग एंड जस्ट राइट इट हियर. सो व्हेन समथिंग इज दैट सिंपल, डोंट एक्सपेक्ट टू मच मार्क्स आउट ऑफ इट. ठीक है. तो कम ही चांस है फर्स्ट दोनों चीजों का आने का ना. पर ठीक है, हम लोग का सिलेबस पूरा हो रहा है, and we are revising it really well. Okay, so this is about the first question done, guys. Both the parts we have answered, both the parts I've discussed, and I made you read it as well in the class. So there's no reason to not read it 3 to 5 times today. Every question that we do 3 to 5 times, you read it today itself, because tomorrow you will revise tomorrow's question 3 to 5 times. So if yesterday's question you have read it 3 to 5 times, you can quickly revise it tomorrow as well. Right? So you have to make sure that 3 to 5 times today only you have to read it really well, complete understanding. Okay, next we look into the ratios, right? Calculate the two ratios for both the years. So you're calculating two ratios and you're doing it for both the years. Okay, two ratios and for both the years. So calculating two ratios and for both the years. Okay, two ratios for both years. Calculate the two ratios for both years. Okay, so calculating two ratios and we're calculating it for both the years. These are the two ratios and for both the years. Okay, so here we look into the first one. First one is operating margins for 2004 and 5. So it is operating profit. Okay, let's write it here. Operating profit divided by revenue into 100. Okay, and payables. It is your payables by purchases. Sorry, purchases by payables by trade payables into 365. Credit purchases divided by trade payables. Oh, sorry. Credit purchase या trade payables ये बोल लो. Credit purchase या trade payables divided by the inventory is their inventory or COGS into 365. If credit purchase is there, best. If not, COGS into 365. Okay, so now we'll look at the numbers here in the question. I have the question for you here. So here you need revenue and actual that has happened. Okay, so you see here forecasted and actual. You see you have 22 here and you have 26. 22, 26. So here you have used 22 at 26. Here you can see 22, 26. Now coming to operating profit. Here you have 0.2. Here you have 1.2. You have used this also 0.2 and 1.2. Sorry, 0.4 and 1.2. Yeah, you see 22. 0.4 divided by 22. 0.4 divided by 22. 1.2 divided by 26. 1.2 divided by 26. So you got it for both the years. And you can see the trend over here. From 5, if you see 4 to 5, you see has fallen. You see the falling trend 4 to 5. 1 year to the other year, it's falling. 1 year to the other year, it's falling. Payable days also, you see 81 to 64 days. You're paying more quickly. That's a good thing. See, operating profit margin, it has gone from 4.6 to 1.8. So it has fallen significantly, meaning the company is earning less operating profit each dollar of revenue. Payables, 81 has gone to 64. The company is The company is paying suppliers more quickly, which may reduce cash available for the company. Okay, it may reduce the cash available for operations for the company, less cash will be available. Okay, so you got the formula I've written over here. So here you can see you have used, yeah, what you have used over here. If you look into this, COGS you have used here. In the second, here I told you in the denominator, you see both the denominators you use COGS and you use the payables. So 1.9 divided by 10.9, 3.2 divided by 14.5 into 365 into 365. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Hmm. So see, if you're paying your suppliers early, yeah, sorry, you complete first. Yeah. Hmm. No, 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 no. So see how you have to think about it. If you are paying your supplier early, so keep it with regards to these two numbers only. Don't get any new number here. Either talk from the purchase perspective or the COGS perspective or the overall effect of the ratio. Don't bring any other numbers. Like for example, here, 81 days has gone to 64 days. That means you're paying your suppliers quickly. Okay, that is the first meaning. That before you used to pay in 81 days, now you're paying in 64 days. So what the good thing is, over here, what it really means over here is that you're paying your suppliers faster. So if in the case that they're telling that if you pay early, you're getting a discount. So you can tell that, yeah, we are getting the discount, or you can tell the supplier has become very happy and there's a good relationship with the supplier. Or here they have told there's less cash because you're paying to the supplier, you're having less cash here. So from the point of view, don't include revenue over here because revenue is not there in the formula. Either use payable or you use COGS or you use the combined formula effect. So either you can say this change has happened because either the payables, if you notice in the payables from 4 to 5, if you see the payables have reduced. So that is why this change has happened. So maybe the company is making more cash sales. They're not giving that much payables right now. Sorry, the company is doing more cash purchase. So the payables are reducing. Either you tell that. Second, either you tell that the cost of sales have reduced for the company. They have started getting some cheaper raw materials. The cost of sale, or together you can tell that as a whole the ratio has gone down. That might mean because that might imply that the customers are getting the suppliers are getting paid earlier, and for the company it's good. Don't bring revenue into payables. So how do you think about it is that first you tell what happened to the numerator, then you tell what happened to the denominator, and then you tell combined what effect it has in business. That's all. So what has happened first is trade payables has gone down. So if in the case of a year they have given you anything about trade payables as you read the case, and if they have given you anything about trade payables, right? So you include that in your point that your trade payables have gone down because of XYZ reasons. What it could be many reasons. Here they have not asked in that much detail. This is a concept in FR ratio calculation. They ask a lot of calculation in detail. Here, if you see, they have not really asked you the reason. But even if they do, you first tell what has been a change in the numerator. What is the numerator? 3.2 has become 1.9. So overall, your payables have reduced. That may mean that either you're making cash payments immediately. That is the first reason. Second, what has happened is your 14.5 has become 10.9. So tell that maybe you're getting cheaper raw materials. That is why 14.5 has become 10.9. Okay. Or overall, you tell what will be the impact on the business is that. So first you told why the first thing would have changed, then you told why the second thing would have changed, and how do you know it what have changed? First you try to get it in the question. As you do enough questions, you will start to figure it out. You try to pick it from the question. If you're not getting it from the question, just give a probable. That 3.2 has become 1.9. That could be a good reason is that the company is doing less and less credit purchase. So the payables have come down. And 14.5 has become 10.9. That is because maybe the company has got a cheaper supplier from which they are getting raw materials at a cheaper rate. So overall the COGS is coming down. So first you told the numerator and denominator, then tell the overall impact. And because of this overall ratio going from 81 to 64, what may have happened over here is that the company is paying suppliers more quickly, which is great. And also, as a result of that, there's less cash with the company because you're paying the suppliers everything. So first I had to tell the numerator changed and why, denominator changed and why, and overall the change happened, what it implies to the company. That's it. Are you clear with this, Geet? Okay. First the numerator, next the denominator, then the overall with consequence. That's it. Okay. Let's make sense of this one now, Geet. Now, since we've done payable, just take us through operating profit here, Geet. How have you understood this? So in operating profit, let's start with the formula. The formula, so the formula is operating profit divided by revenue. Very good. Hmm. 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 Very good. Very good. Yes. Very good. Sales would have reduced, selling price would have reduced. Okay. Yeah. Everything per dollar that it's selling, it's earning less per dollar. Perfect. Absolutely right. Yeah. Very good. So that is all about the ratio question as well. So they didn't ask for the reason here. They have not asked for it. Right? If you read the question here, have they asked for a reason? Right? They have not asked, and formula is also not required to be shown. Okay, and they have not asked for a reason, so that's why it's not needed. I've just given over here, so it might give you a little extra understanding. Okay, moving on now. We'll look into the last final question of this particular question, last part. Using the information, 7 audit risks. We have to give 7 audit risks and is there and explain the auditor's response to each risk. Okay, so we'll start with the risks here. Firstly, new client. Okay, is this a new client risk here?
ready चल रहा क्या?
नहीं. Okay, a Magpie, I pasted it here. So I'll just copy it from here and put it there. Okay, and I will adjust the lapis one right after. First, let's finish. Yeah. Okay, so first we look into the audit risk. So the new audit client. So the first thing is new audit client. Okay, so new, I think we have done this well. Whenever a client is new, why it is a risk? It is a risk because see, the team is very unfamiliar. The team does not have any knowledge. And if you go to your relative's house, you've never met, you have very limited knowledge. So conversation is a little difficult initially, right? You don't have anything. Right. And also you can't trust the previous year's data opening balance that you're using this year. Was that correct also? You're not even sure of that. So that is why it's a risk whenever there's a new client. So what is the impact? There will be high detection risk and possible that the opening balances may be misstated. That is previous year's closing because you don't know. There's a chance that that might be wrong also. So as an auditor, what you can do, send an experienced team and provide more detailed planning, give sufficient time to understand the business also. Better planning, more experienced team, and additional procedures over opening balances. Just ensure that the opening balances you are doing additional procedures just to check if everything is correct. That is about new audit client. Okay, let's go through this one here, Tia. Why is the new audit client a risk? Hmm. Yes. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Yes. Very good. Yes. Yes. Very good. You're absolutely right. So that is all about the new audit client. Yeah. Whenever you get new audit client, guys, it's again a very easy place to score marks. So don't lose out on any marks there. Next, we look into his PPE expenditure. So they're saying the company capitalized 0.75 spent on refurbishment. So they've capitalized all of the money. So that time is a possible problem. I'll tell you how do you find it out also. Okay, so first of all, new audit client has come over here. So it was easy for you to understand new audit client here. Okay. Now, second, the word is all. So whenever see first is new audit client, you pick that up. Second is the word all. So when the company says all of the expenditure was capitalized, all. So that is definitely a risk. Why? Because see some expenses should not have been capitalized because they would have not met the criteria. So the company capitalized all of the refurbishment expenditure. Right. So the risk over here is the property, plant, and equipment may be overstated and your expenses will be understated. Because see, some of the expenses should have been expensed. It shouldn't have been capitalized. So whenever you see the word all of the expenditure is capitalized, why? Some may not have met the criteria. So ones that don't meet the criteria, don't capitalize it. So what you can do as an action here, obtain a schedule of the capitalized costs. Just get a list of all the capitalized cost and inspect the invoices and supporting documents that only verify that the costs that have met the criteria, only they have been capitalized. Whereas other costs has been expensed to P&L. All cost cannot be capitalized. So whenever you see the word all, that is your hint. So I'm also showing you the hint over here. I'm also showing you the hint over here. Okay. I'm also showing you the hint for that reason. Okay. If all of the costs have been capitalized, that is a risk aware, or all have been expensed also is a risk. Some may have been capitalized. So you have to get a list of all those costs and confirm it from invoices first of all, and then check if they have met the criteria and they have been involved, if they have been capitalized. Because if they have not been met the criteria, they should go to the P&L account. Why are all the costs capitalized? We have a problem with all the costs being capitalized, right? All don't meet the criteria. If some student has got less than 50, he is not a pass. Why have all the students got a pass result, even if they have got less than 50? Right? The criteria should have been met. Right? Similarly, in IS, in property plant equipment, there's a criteria. Not all costs can be capitalized. Right? Only the one that meet the criteria can be capitalized. Okay, let's go through this one, Ivan. Yeah. What is identify the risk? Why is it a risk? Impact and auditor action. Hmm. 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 Right. यार यो फ्रीज पेन्स किस में आता है? फ्रीज पेन्स एक फ्रीज कर देते हैं ना पेन को, फ्रीज सेल। हाँ हाँ हाँ, नहीं पता तो ठीक है। व्यू व्यू हाँ या या वो टॉप वाला होगा ना, तो मैं जो सा करना है ये वाला करना है। हाँ अब इसको करूँ, अनफ्रीज, पहले अनफ्रीज करूँ। कौन सा करना है? येलो वाला करना है, तो उसके नीचे वाला सेलेक्ट करूँ, उसके नीचे वाला को अब फ्रीज करूँ। हाँ sorted, thank you. Okay, so new is done. PP expenditure is done. Next, we'll look into the new sales systems. Okay, looking into the new sales systems. Yeah, what about this? Okay, so whenever there's a new system, guys, so again, new is another risk. Every new gives you a risk. All gives you a risk. Again, new. So again, when there's a new sales system, there's another risk here, right? So what has happened is new sales system is a risk. Okay, this system enable daily sales in centralized finance. Okay, and they're saying it's not felt. So new with not is a risk here, that you did not run the old system parallelly. So you should also test whenever you set a new system, guys. You're not sure whether it will work properly. So you run it parallelly for some time. After running it parallelly for some time only, you should shift. Okay, after running it parallelly for some time only, you should shift. Right? After running it parallelly only, you should shift. Okay. If you don't run it parallelly, right? Okay, if you don't run it parallelly, don't make the shift. You have to only make the shift if you run it parallelly for a bit. The first you have to run it parallelly, right? So here the new sales system was introduced without running the old system parallelly. Opening balance may have transferred incorrectly. System errors could have been there. Affect the transition process. The transaction process might be affected, and the transition might not be smooth. So what you should do is here document the new system, verify the opening balances, and discuss the implementation issues if there were any implementation issues. What are the impact here? Your sale and trade receivables may be misstated due to opening balances or processing errors. So whenever you start a new system, you have to keep the old one also running parallelly. Okay, keep the old one running parallelly once you have run it parallelly for some time, and then you shift to the new system completely. If you don't do the old system parallelly, now that's a problem. So new system is there, but the transition might not be good, or some numbers might not be transferred correctly. Right. So whenever you have a new sales system, that is not a problem. But the real problem is when you have not running both parallelly initially. For some time you have to run both parallelly. Okay. So and this system is for sales and receivables. For sales and receivables, there is a system and you should run both parallelly, right? For sales and receivables, there's a system and you have to ensure that you run both of them parallelly. Okay. You have to ensure you run both of them parallelly. All right. Let's make sense of this one here. Geet, what's happening here? So they got a new sales system. Yes. And they didn't run it parallel. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when I transferred it, the opening balance is made and transferred it to my. Hmm. Perfect. Yes. Mm, mm. Management. Perfect. That is about this. Moving on to the next one here. Custom. Yeah. It's a system that helps you to keep a track of your sale. Like, for example, Amazon will have a sale system. Nivan has ordered a good. Nivan has received the delivery. Nivan has made the payment. Warranty period is over. So there should be an entire system that from the time you raise an order till the time you make the payment, everything is tracked into that system. So that is one order management system. Under that, specifically focusing on the sales part, that how many people have inquired for this particular product, how many people have placed an order, how many people are currently ordered it, added to their cart but not made a payment. So sales system is a system that basically tracks your entire sale. That whenever there's a new lead that is generated till the point that lead gets the good and he's make the payment, there's a system which you collect and organize the data, and then you try to close all the sales. So sales system is just basically digital steps, a set of steps digitally that helps you to complete a sale, to make a potential customer into a person who's make the payment. So just tracking your customer at every stops and every bit, it is called as a sales system. And it ensures that a new lead is converted into a customer. That entire process is tracked. That is called like a sales system. It keeps a track of everything. Okay, you get an understanding, anyone? That is the sales system specifically. But here they have told sales and trade receivables also. That means if any money is yet to be received from someone, how much is the balance? So system helps you to keep things organized. Okay. Next, customers are able to. ठीक है, we'll take it from there. Here we have finished around 3 risks as well today. Okay, so guys, please go through all of these risks. Again, I will go through this tomorrow. We have gone through 3, 4 more is needed. I have the next question ready as well, which we will do tomorrow. So we're finishing the other aspects also, which is equally important. Okay, so hence we have been done with 3. So we have finished 2 parts of the question, guys. We have looked into the purpose of the engagement letter, matters to include in the engagement letter. Along with that, we've looked into the ratios question also, and we are looking into identifying the risk. Also, 3 parts we have finished with here. So I will just remove this for now. Okay, so you can just focus on this. Okay, 203. Let's look to do this well. Okay, so revise everything here, guys. Very important. Okay, let's put in the homework again quickly. Revise entire question 203. Number 1, revise entire question 203. Yeah, and revise chapter 5, 6, 7. Revise entire chapter question and 7. 203. What is the question, Ivan? नए वाले book में? It is 204. Okay. So, okay. So in the class we have finished what? Magpie. Homework is make sure. Okay. Entire 205 na Ivan? 204. Entire question 204, guys, we'll be revising. And second is entire chapter 5, 6, and 7. Okay, we will read it. The notes are over here. Okay, all the chapters. ठीक है, डन। निवान थोड़ा सा ये ऑर्गेनाइज कर देना ना फाइल, पहले सारे चैप्टर्स हो, बाद में क्वेश्चन मूव कर देना। ओके, just make this little more organized. This file has just gone a little all over the place. So you have the homework here, guys, and I want a tick mark here, done, 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 or just you can write done over here. Okay, so please try to do this, and we'll look into it before I start the class tomorrow. Try to be honest. If you didn't, it didn't. What's the max I will do? Right, I will just tell you to do it. So I try to keep the honesty to this, so even you'll feel good about what you're doing. And please try to finish it. Okay, it will hardly take time. Now only you can sit and you can finish everything. Okay, it will not take much time. Okay, so let's keep focus on this and let's get this done here. Okay, and this is already there as you can see. ठीक है, एक्सेल फाइल एक बार निवान फिल शेयर कर देना, एक्सेल फाइल भी, जस्ट इन केस टिया कांट फाइंड इट। ओके